but he does feel at home in Side Pockets Blue Springs, which is where we are at. So it should be just a matter of who can find the comfort on the table and, most importantly, who can find the break.
Tyler starting off from the right side, looking for that second ball down, and he's going to get a ball, and he's got a very decent looking first split. It's exactly what he would have been hoping for. Exactly what he would have been hoping for. He's spoken to us a couple of times already this weekend about the struggles with the break and how much it's been letting him down, essentially, despite not really doing a huge amount wrong. But a good chance here to open things up.
Yeah, everything looks pretty open other than the 3-ball and the 5-ball. So I think in this situation I may like the stripes. If the 14 passes the 2, which I think it does, and I think we'll see him work that into the table very quickly here.
Slightly awkward cueing there for Tyler over 3 balls. Would have been a foul if there was any contact on those. Referee Daryl Hibbard was all over that. Getting in his morning calisthenics there was the referee, stretching it out. Test if he's fit and ready to rumble for today. I think it had to be stripes there for Tyler, and I think he's actually in really nice shape for it, honestly. 14 is the only issue, and he can get there now.
I didn't really like moving that ball because I thought it would go, but he may have had to because it didn't. Cameras can be a little deceiving sometimes. So he didn't get a terrible layout after that breakout.
No, this should now be 1-0.
As we've talked about all weekend, Friday night, fresh felt, extremely fresh. Fast felt, the pockets are 4 inches at the opening, but the slickness and the friction, or lack thereof, really opened up the pocket for a lot of the balls. We're now day 3. It's a little humid outside. There's a lot of people in the building. The table conditions have changed, and I have a feeling that we're going to see those pockets tighten up a little bit.
I don't know if it'll come into play too much with the likes of these two, for example, who outstanding players. 4-inch pockets shouldn't really be a problem for them anyway. But table first thing on Friday definitely played a bit easier than it will do now. Wait and see if it becomes a factor. Tyler's taking these out methodically. And a very nice start, this. We're races to 7, 50 minutes on the match clock. If we do get down to 0 and we haven't had one of the players get to 7, we will take the result at 0 on the clock. Yeah. And even then they've lasted a couple of shots.
Yeah, not very much action on the 15-second shot clock since the shootout on Friday night. It's been scarcely used.
Stripes have come out nice again. Chase Stumfoll with a really nice break. Wonder if he saw where Tyler Styer put it and thought, oh, that looks like a good spot. That worked for you. I'll follow. But couldn't have come out much nicer for him.
Yeah, well, and everybody was having a little bit of trouble yesterday with the breaks. We've seen 2 successful ones so far. How long can that streak stay alive?
Table 40, please. The bottom back. 75, please. Table 40.
And because of the way this works with the redraw, can you explain that a little bit to me? Because that is something that's fairly new to me. I know we have winners qualification and then losers qualification, but there's a specific way they seed up, right?
Yeah, so you go into the winner's sides and then you await your, well, it's not quite lucky loser, but winning loser coming through from the B side, and the draw essentially happens again. It's almost like two separate brackets, really, two separate tournaments.
Understood. So a winner is always going to play a player
Yes.
from the B side.
Correct.
On that, that's the 32 round.
Correct. Yeah. So if you saw it on the draw software that they have here, I'm speaking to tournament director Neil earlier on this morning, and it's already set. You get all the players on the left-hand side of the draw. They're all the players who've come through the winner's side. I see Chase knock in that 8 ball to make it 1-1.
We have a break, and we do not have a ball down. Unsuccessful break by Tyler Styer here. Chase Stumfoll has the opportunity to steal this rack from Tyler.
And again, it's come out pretty nice.
Yeah, I definitely like the layout here. He does have a little bit of trouble, not necessarily because it's anything crazy, but he has to get good positioning on the 10 or the 11. Don't really want to shoot a combo in this situation, but I think he'll be fine. He's got a pretty big gap. You see right there. He's looking at the edge of the gap for the 10 ball. If he can get anywhere in that area, he'll have a shot, and I think he's come up short. He cannot see the 10, but he's got a couple more tries at it, as he has the 9 ball down here as well as the 14. That's the nice thing about not trying to work your problem ball last, is if you miss it the first time, you can maybe get multiple attempts to get where you need to be. And the second attempt is going to be successful. He can see the 10. Now it's just a matter of shooting the ball in the hole, getting shape, and eventually winning the rack.
I'm not surprised to see him come and look at this, though, because these two don't connect very nicely. I think you're absolutely right. There's benefit to getting that 10 off the table, being the most awkward of the stripes remaining. But you've still got to link the 14 up. It's sort of on its island down there.
Yeah, I think if he can play the shot well enough, he really just wants to, well, that's definitely not what he wanted. He wanted more angle on the side pocket. I believe if he can get angle on the 14, he can simply go around the bottom end of the table and put his cue ball somewhere between the 1 and the 6 for the 8. But he's going to have to change his shot pattern here. And this right here, Steven, this is going to be a tester. It's not necessarily a difficult shot, but the pressure is on.
Yeah, it's just a, yeah, we'll find out how he's feeling after this shot.
Yeah.
Feeling pretty good.
Yeah, that was a good shot.
Cued that nicely.
And able to keep the shape on the 8. That was the most important part, and maybe the most difficult part of the shot.
And it goes. Chase Stumfoll hits the front, and you can hear there the crowd here in Kansas City showing their love to their hometown kids from Sugar Creek, Missouri.
The junior division is so stacked everywhere you go, and maybe particularly stacked here in the Kansas City area. So many good junior players right around this area. It's a wonder that they have so many junior national or former junior national champions, as we've seen on some of the bios. People like Blake Baker, Ricky Evans, and of course Chase Stumfoll. The talent is very good here in Kansas City, guys.
Certainly is. Chase just seeming to take a little off that break there. And turns the table over to Tyler Styer.
Tyler really taking his time with that. I believe he called his extension, gave that quite a bit of thought how he was going to shoot that ball. And Tyler's just on an entirely different level of really planning his rack out. He's very good at it. He can do it very quickly.
Looks like the combo coming up next for Tyler. This is exactly what he played for.
I'm just wondering what the reaction for the 14 is. This is not necessarily an easy shot. It's fairly straightforward, but oh, he came out okay with the 10 ball.
Yeah, he'll take that. He's not got loads of angle, but I think he's got enough to just work this finish out. It'll be the 10 ball into the side pocket next, and I think he can, yeah, there we go. What I like about Tyler is he always tells us what he's about to do. Makes me feel safe.
Now, do you think the play here is to get a little angle on that 9 so he can bump the 1? Or is there another idea there? Maybe the 14 in the right side pocket.
Yeah, I think he can. He's come up straight enough here that he can just come back if he wants to. He can probably punch it off the bottom rail if he needs to. But he's got options here.
If he overrolls that, he always has the 11, so I think he'll be okay here. Oh, he can play the 14 up in the top left. That's a very, very good shot there. The less cue ball movement you can have, the better.
Yeah, it's a nice, really nice route that he's picked. Really like that. And the best thing is he can hold off the 1. So the 11 is just sitting for him, waiting. Really nice. It's just really good 8-ball patterns. This is the top level from Tyler Styer.
And 8-ball as a game is just so interesting because the pattern play from player to player can be very, very different. Even at the top level, the patterns that you see can just, that they range vastly, but Tyler's definitely one of the best. And there you have it. He's going to steal one back from Chase. Chase, with the break, had an opportunity to make it 3-1. No ball down, and Tyler, like clockwork, really works the cue ball well in that rack. 2024 Kansas City Open champion to that resume.
Oh, no. Wow. Tyler wanting to give that second ball break a little bit extra, and that's the worst thing that can happen on the break because this is a rule that we don't always often get to see. It's quite difficult to bounce the cue ball off this table, but it's not just cue ball in hand in the kitchen, it is cue ball in hand wherever you like it. So Chase Stumfoll is going to place the cue ball in the kitchen here, but he doesn't need to. He can go wherever he likes.
Yeah, and just so a little bit different of a rule. So a scratch puts you behind the kitchen line, and a cue ball off the table, it's a little bit of extra punishment. It's anywhere on the table, correct?
Yeah, it just becomes a standard foul.
And Chase may be unaware of that particular rule, but he's got a good shot here to break out one of his problem balls.
It wouldn't surprise me if he was aware, just because the top left of the table is the awkward bit, and I don't mind getting that ball out of the way. You've got quite a big gap to get through to the 14. Automatic link to the 8-ball. So I think even if you could, and he could, place the cue ball anywhere he wanted, I think that was a good place to start.
That's a good call there, Stephen. The 10 ball here connects well to either one of these balls. So disastrous setup for Tyler Styer here. Definitely not the way he wanted to start this rack.
Chase has got one really good shot to play, and the easier he can make that, of course, the better. He has to land nicely on the 14 at the top of the table. There is a nice little gap there, but you want a good angle to then connect to the 8 ball. So this right now is the key shot. If he nails this, he's home and hosed.
Yeah, I think he's got a nice angle to pull this cue ball back. The 1 ball is really his only issue, and if he can steer clear of that 1 ball, that's a good shot.
Yeah, played that really nicely.
Finding the gap there is so important, and you see a lot of players that always seem to end up behind that 1 ball, and it can really make things interesting when you have a bigger gap because you feel comfortable shooting it and maybe get a little complacent on the shape shot. Pool is one of the only games out there where you can be less than perfect and still work. It just might make your shot or your shape a little harder. And you don't always have to get that perfect shape. There's a little bit of room for error. Well, and this is a really tough break here. There's a large cluster of balls right there in the center. The 9 and the 1 tied up. I don't like this at all.
Goes big. How's it come out for him? I think it's come out okay. He's still got a lot of work to do here. A lot of work.
Yeah, there's some sticky spots out there.
Oh, not so much anymore. He's getting closer, but it still requires.
That 9 ball's still in a tricky spot.
Yeah.
But I feel like
he thinks he can get to it off this 15.
Yeah, and I think he can, and I think he can do it pretty easily. And it also promotes shape for the 14 if he doesn't get the best breakout. Oh. Oh, no.
Yeah, it's still I thought that was a tough shot. He was a little bit straight, so whenever that angle isn't supernatural, they can become a bit trickier to judge.
Yeah, this is now a little bit of a situation where Tyler's in, I wouldn't say trouble, but it's getting there. He's got to make the breakout here. He's got to get a good one.
Made the shot so much harder. And Chase Stumfoll with a chance to open up a 2-rack lead. Early days still in this match, but difference between 3-all and 4-2 is a handy one.
Yeah, that was very difficult. And Chase here looking to move his ball out of the way and misses on his first attempt.
There's definitely a case here for Chase to maybe take his time. Doesn't necessarily need to go, because his 1 is very tricky.
We haven't seen a ton of defensive play here. That, for me, right there, That might have been a situation where I play a little defensive and force Tyler to make the good hit on the 9, opening up my 1.
Yeah, Chase didn't really have a plan B here, and I mean, the pockets are generous, but they're not that generous.
Yeah, we've seen very offensive, high-level offensive 8-ball. We haven't seen a ton of tactical play.
He's playing the bank here, is he?
He's cutting the 11 and going into the back of the 1-9, or the center of it.
Oh, you're right. How good a shot is that?
Yeah, that was phenomenal.
That's really, really good.
Still a little bit of work to do here.
The story of this rack, yeah.
That he wants to be able to shoot the 14 ball to get on the 8-ball, but this 9 ball and getting shape, it's not the easiest. Got to give it its due diligence. And I don't think he could have hit it any better than that. He's ended up on the correct side of the 14. All he has to do is let the cue ball roll forward. No chance of getting hooked on the 2 ball because of the angle he has. What might be one of our longest racks of the tournament finally has the light at the end of the tunnel. Tyler. Now this is a big swing. Tyler really could have been in a bad situation.
Well, he may well be wondering, how on earth have I gone and won that rack?
We've seen Mike Banks Jr., but we see Mike Banks Sr. also on that winner's side. Very good player in his own right. And where they are in the bracket, if the miraculous happened, Mike Banks Jr. and Mike Banks Sr. could essentially end up playing for the championship if everything went well.
Wouldn't that be a story, hey? Well, yeah, I can tell you, Jordan Shepherd versus Sean Jones is next up for us on the stream here from Kansas City.
Sean had a great showing against
Chris Melling
yesterday.
Looked good. And I think that match will help him coming into today as well, having a little bit of experience out there on the table.
Yeah, but you know, playing Jordan Shepherd in what we will refer to as his arena is not an easy feat.
No.
When you look at the draw, out of all the players you could draw from the winner's side, I think Jordan Shepherd's at the top of my list that I don't want to get. Tyler here. Very, very kind of a tic-tac-toe rack. Doesn't have to do anything crazy to get to his next ball. Everything connects pretty well. This is almost a situation where stop shots will get you everything that you need. Great shot there. 4 to the 5. And the 8-ball in the bottom left-hand corner. Could choose to shoot it inside, but I think he'll go for the corner. Uh-oh. Okay, we're good. Worried a little bit about the spin there. He could have ended up behind that 12 with a little bit extra push on that ball, but played it well. Yeah, this is great. Tyler Styer winning that last rack was huge for him. He's now with a beautiful run. He's going to be up 4 to 3 as soon as this 8-ball finds its way into that bottom left-hand pocket. There it is. Tyler has the ability to be the best player in the room at any given time, no matter who's in the room.
Chase Stumfoll, who had that chance to go 4-2 in front, now pegged back and taken over. Now he looks to get himself level, but happily, pleased for both players here that the brakes seem to have turned up today for them. And it just becomes a matter then of, well, are you good enough to get out? Just give you some live scores from around the last 32. Chris Melling is on the hill against David Matlock. He's 6-2 in front. In fact, just as I say that, he's just won that frame. So Chris Melling is the first one through to the last 16. A man in a hurry.
That is the benefit of live scoring, which you can follow on ultimatepoolusa.com. If you have a player in the tournament and you want to see how they're doing, that's all you got to do.
Yeah, and your father-son dream is looking shaky, I can tell you, Stephen. Mike Banks Sr. is 5-3 down to Justin Bergman. Tough draw for him, admittedly. And Joe Prince from the UK is 5-1 in front on Mike Banks Jr., which is a score that, yeah, I can tell you, has certainly raised the eyebrows of Stephen White. And that raised mine too.
Yeah, that's you know, Joe plays good though, and he, being somebody that most people in here would be unfamiliar with, that's definitely interesting there.
Chase has taken this rack out really, really nicely.
Yeah, very good. A little bit of a shout out here to league operator for Northwest Louisiana, Lamar Clack, making it to the final 32. He's playing Timmy Bly right now. I tell you, the match there, Shane Thompson and Ricky Jones. We haven't had a chance to see Ricky, and what we've seen of Shane has been, you know, very light, but Shane is such a great player, and Ricky, another player coming over the pond, plays very, very well. We are 4-4 here in this race to 7. I don't want to play them, that's for sure. I don't care how old they are. They're a little scary.
And Sophia is very much still batting in the Women's Open as well. She's in the winners' qualification rounds.
Yeah, such a star that one is, and as small as she is very, very mighty on the pool team.
Yeah, small but mighty for sure. So still a lot of pool to be played in the Women's Open. It's at a similar-ish stage to where we are right now in the main Open event. And the Junior Open is starting to tick down, which makes sense. You know, those guys they've got bedtimes to get to.
I knew that was coming.
Here's the key shot in this visit for Tyler. That's come out okay, as long as that, say that, as that 9 just come across to block the 3. He's immediately come to look at it. I think he's probably got just enough room, but that nearly went pretty badly wrong for him.
Oh, played that one with a little bit of a bump off the rail, but It worked out.
Yeah, top right corner of the table is the issue for him. The 9 that he bumped has made that pocket small. This is tight.
Oh.
Wobbles in.
And used all of the pocket there. Haven't had to discuss it much throughout the event. The score is 4-4, and we are at the 20, just a little over the 20-minute mark. For anybody who hasn't been watching or is new to the format, we do like to speed the game up a little bit when it gets there to the end. At the 10-minute mark, if we get there, our 30-second shot clock will drop to just a 15-second shot clock. And generally, if that happens, we are very close in score, and it ramps up the pressure in that arena.
In the end, it is another pristine visit from Tyler Styer. One chance, one rack on the board. Not without its dangers. Oh, he's going to take this one long, I think. Yeah, it just goes to show how little the side pockets are trusted on these tables. Yeah, it's been really cool, actually, how much the club here in Kansas City, Side Pockets, has bought into the event, if you like. Last night it was pretty insane to see. The Royals were playing at home against the Cubs. There was a UFC big pay-per-view on, and with equal billing in the club, with equal screen real estate, was the Ultimate Pool USA Kansas City Open.
And, you know, in this setting, even with UFC and the hometown Royals playing, I think all eyes were on the Ultimate Pool USA TVs because we had some absolute killer matches last night.
That's a nice shot from Chase. Really like that.
It's always nice as a local player scraping through into the final 32 of this event to be able to look up to your left, your right, up, down, wherever you want to look, and see your compadre Chase Stumfoll in the arena and check on his score. Really is a nice layout here at Side Pocket Blue Springs. I can't say enough kind words about the owner, Bill. He's gone above and beyond to accommodate everybody involved with this, and this is a team effort. There's quite a few people that make this happen, and he's really gone above and beyond. That barbecue. Can't come to Kansas City without barbecue, and Bill treated us to some local barbecue last night. Very good.
The only thing Chase has to worry about in this rack is the 8. And I do wonder, I think it goes top right. It makes his life a lot easier if it does, but it's tight. If it doesn't, he's got to land to the top right of the table and take it over to the top left. I think that sneaks it in either side, to be honest. But
I think Chase is going to take the easier route here. Even if it does go, I think he likes shooting the 12 and just probably stopping the ball, using the angle from the 11 and the side to get shape on the 8. Might have come a little far. I can't really tell.
yeah, table's just caught him out a little bit there. He's just got into that a little bit too much. And it doesn't take much to draw the ball back. So he needs to pop this on the thick side of the side pocket.
luckily you have a little bit of a blocker. You're not going to scratch if you.
Oh, I didn't like that way.
Oh no.
Didn't like that choice.
Well, this isn't bad because he can play a ticky shot. He's going to play the 8 into the rail, off the 4, and into the pocket. Oh, didn't have to, but it didn't go.
Oh, now we can have some fun.
Well, this is very interesting now. Tyler Styer with a 1-rack lead is in trouble because his offensive ability at this point has just dwindled down big time.
Yeah, but that 8 is so well guarded. Tyler can play a really, really good snooker here, and you'd really, really fancy.
Oh wow!
Yeah, this is horrible. I don't think the up and down is on. How do you then make this 8 ball? And the issue is if he goes close and hits the 1 or the 2, he's almost certainly knocking the 8 ball in and losing the rack.
And some people in this situation, if you're not aware of the rules, some people might either just pick up the ball and give up ball in hand.
Oh, it's a great effort, this, you know.
Oh.
Well, do you know what? That's not the worst result.
I agree.
He's got the foul. That's fine. Cue ball in hand for Tyler Styer, but this is still really tricky for Tyler. And the route to the 8 ball now is a little bit more open.
Yeah, and
I didn't think he'd be able to hit that 8 ball and not pot it there.
Yeah, that was a really, really good effort there by Chase. But, oh no.
Oh, that's a tough lie. Yeah, just watching the reaction of Tyler, he sucks that one up a little bit. That's a tough break.
And I don't think the ball is touching. I didn't hear the call from our referee. Well, and you know, it's a great shot, but in this situation, I believe that Chase Stumfoll is going to win this rack.
Two ways to go. You can either go off the left side rail or the up and down.
I like the up and down.
I suppose his worry with the up and down is the cue ball might squeeze past the 8 and end up fouling. Needs to get this on the right side.
Well, if it's going to happen,
bounce.
this is it. Oh, wow.
Well, the cue ball wouldn't go. There's your answer.
The 8 ball is literally hanging off the edge of the pocket. If Tyler breathes too much, that ball will fall. Oh, man.
Every ball has come to its stop, though, and that does mean if the 8 ball happens to fall in, through no fault of any player's own, it will just get replaced. Big shot this, though.
Tyler going to go for the 2-way. If he were to miss this, he would be leaving Chase a tough shot, but he didn't miss it. He made it. It doesn't get any easier from here, though, with where he's landed. He's so close to the 6 ball.
Yeah, he's picked a really lovely line there, Tyler Styer, but yeah, so does this 6 sneak in a little bit easier than it originally looks? I think it does.
Well, you know what this rack has done, Steven, is it's chewed time off the clock, precious time, because we're down under the 14-minute mark. Oh, no.
And we're going level. That was a tough shot. Chase Stumfoll is going to steal one. 5 each.
And, you know, I don't know what he's thinking, but if I'm in Tyler's shoes, I mean, realistically, I think in the situation he was in multiple times, it was almost inevitable that Chase was going to win that rack as soon as the 8 ball laid up there. Of course, Tyler played the good safety, and Chase was able to get a very fortunate lie, even though he fouled.
Yeah, we're going to see a little bit of this match on a 15-second shot clock. Is Tyler going to scratch? No, he's going to get a little bit of luck, but he's dry. I thought that 7 was going to go. I think Tyler thought that 7 was going to go. I think you're right, though, but it's very much a glass half full, half empty debate going on in Tyler's mind right now, because if you're glass half full, you think, well, I wasn't supposed to win that rack anyway. Chase had the break, he took a finish on, he got a shot at the 8-ball, he should have won that rack. You can write it off almost in your own brain if you want to, but I think Tyler should have won that rack once Chase missed that 8-ball. And I think Tyler thinks that too, and he'll be irritated that he's not too clear here and on the hill.
Yeah, and in a situation like that, because it did, I believe that was close to in between a 5 and 7 minute rack. And when you're playing, you're probably not thinking about it a whole lot. I don't think any player is worried about the shot clock. But if we were to get into another rack like that, it could very well play a big part in this match. This rack, however, not going to be like that. Everything is wide open. Chase has a great opportunity to go to the hill against the babyface assassin Tyler Styer. Chase, who didn't have the best luck in the shootout, seems to have turned it around here, playing really well in the arena. A few missteps, but only countered by missteps by Tyler as well. Ooh. He wasn't far off from nicking that 3-ball, which would have been a disaster, but he played it so well. He just needs to get shape on the 8.
He looks pretty straight on this 3. I think this is the case of taking your medicine a little bit. Back yourself to make the 8-ball.
I expect him to punch it, which could be not good. Snuck away with that one.
Yeah, I like this. Didn't try to do too much. Give yourself a shot. Back yourself to make the pot. This
Big.
For the hill for Chase Stumfoll.
Big 8-ball. And he nailed it right in the center of the pocket. What a shot by Chase. What a run out. And Tyler's got to be looking back at that rack and thinking, man, if I'd have just made that 6-ball. Look at this break. Ball down. Multiple balls down. Oh, look how beautiful this is. Chase Stumfoll on the hill with an amazing rack in front of him. This is the rack I want every single time. We are down to that 15-second shot clock.
The only thing that can go wrong, you feel, for Chase is just not being able to hold it together under the pressure. It's a quick shot clock, but this is for a spot in the last 16 to knock out one of the pre-tournament favourites. Hardest racks to win, the first and the last. This should be the last.
And being on the hill against Tyler in your first shot as the 15-second shot clock, that's got to be a little daunting because you really want to take your time on a rack like this.
Okay.
It's still workable. He'll be able to play the 5-ball up. He needs to split the gap between the 11 and the 10. Just needs to see a line of sight to that 6-ball.
And he's got it.
Does the 8-ball pass to the bottom left? I think it does.
Yeah, it flies in. This is over.
And this is huge. And I can tell you right now, expect a roar from the crowd if this 8-ball drops in that pocket, because the Kansas City local just beat Tyler Styer. Wow, what a match.
What a moment for Chase Stumfoll, and he's got plenty of his supporters here inside Pockets Blue Springs. Puff of the cheeks from the young man. That's a big, big victory for him, and one of the favorites falls in the first match of the day in the Kansas City Open. Chase Stumfoll qualifies for the last 16, and we'll hear what he has to say about that in just a moment.